All right, so Misfits. See, this is why new YouTuber. I'm doing this double upload just to get 20 views. Probably because I can't get through a sentence, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we just had Misfits 17 finish. Pretty interesting card. I had to take a shower to clean myself from probably the worst stoppage I've ever seen. We'll get to that in a second, but let's start with the first fight. First fight, DTG versus Minicon. 0 for 1 on the night, 0 for 1 on the predictions, but it's all good. I predicted that DTG was going to finish him or get a stoppage with a left hook. I don't even think there was a knockdown. There was some controversy. Some people think that DTG won. I was one of those people originally. Maybe if I go back and watch the fight, I feel differently, but Minicon ended up getting a decision win. To be honest, a little bit of a disappointing fight. I was expecting more of a war. I don't know. DTG was trying, but Minicon was always doing the distancing. So, like I said, he was supposed to, but it was still a sloppy fight. I was still expecting a little bit better knowing how long they've been fighting at this point, but it's all right. Minicon looked about the same at cruiserweight than he did at heavyweight. If anything, maybe he lost a little bit of power because he landed some shots that I thought would put down DTG, which didn't. It could just be a testament to how tough DTG is, but yeah, a little bit disappointing, but Minicon gets a good decision. All right, next fight was Mike Edwards versus Jake Cornish. 0 for 2 on the predictions. Clearly, this is a great YouTube channel to go to see predictions, but back-to-back disappointing fights. I'm not gonna lie, Mike Edwards had him the entire fight. He could have had a finish if he wanted to. It was kind of just ooh the entire time, and then Cornish was just backing up, taking it. Mike Edwards really could have got a finish, but he didn't. If I'm being honest, they don't look like they belong in the tournament. I don't understand how you could justify them being on the same level as Le'Veon and Josh Bruckner and people like that. So, yeah, it's going to be a quick one, but I was very wrong. Mike Edwards ended up getting the decision instead of the Short Kings. Both Short Kings let me down, so all right. Nothing new. Next up was Ben Williams versus Warren Spencer. Now, this has to be one of the worst, if not the worst, stoppage I've ever seen in my life. I gotta say, this fight was really good. Like, they said that they were gonna meet in the middle of the ring and swing, and that is exactly what they did from basically the opening bell. They were both trading. Ben Williams ended up getting the better Warren Spencer, dropping him twice, I believe. I believe he did get him with the right hook, like I predicted, but Ben Williams went down, and it was clear that was too early. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, it was so bad. Like, he might have not even got dropped. It's blanking for me right now, but the ref waved off, and Warren Spencer went in the middle of the ring and started doing push-ups. Like, I couldn't believe it. That was probably definitely the worst stoppage on Misfits. I'm going to have to think really hard of another stoppage that was that devious. And I know it's influencer boxing, who doesn't give a fuck. It's still a referee. I'm pretty sure they get it from a commission, which may be involved with something else that could be pro. So yeah, that ref got teed off on by Mams, and it was very deserved. He probably shouldn't have done it in front of Ben Williams, taking his moment in front of his home country, I guess you could say, but that ref should not be back anytime soon, because that was probably the worst stoppage I've ever seen. Ever. And it's on a Misfits. All right, next was Sami Hamed versus Jesse Clark, and man, we might have a star, because he didn't fight like his dad. He wasn't flashy. He was a little, it was a confident style. Like, he had his hands down, chin in the air, which isn't the best. But, man, he was put on a masterclass. I predicted a decision. He got him out of there. He had the guy's corner throwing in the towel because he had no answers for his combination work. He couldn't really land anything. By the time he landed one shot, he was getting hit by like 5 by Sami. We got to see Prince Nassim after the fight, still talking his shit, saying, "Oh, how's my hair look?" Man, Prince Nassim had to be It still has to be one of the most charismatic boxers that has touched the earth. And if you haven't seen his fights, you need to go back and look at Prince Naseem, because that is one of my favorite boxers highlights to ever watch. Completely fearless. Almost like his son, he was fighting pretty fearless too. That's one thing I could say that they both have similarities with. But he was saying after the fight he doesn't want to be compared. And that's fair. They're two different fighters. To have Prince Naseem around on Misfits, oh, I'm all for it. So Sammy had a really very impressive performance, and I'm very excited to have him back. Jesse Clark didn't really show much, you know. But overall, great performance by Sammy, and like I said, I hope we see him back. Well, sidetrack from this video, I just figured out that Ricky Pearsall got shot in San Francisco, so hopefully he's all right. Prayers up to him. It's a very random headline, so sad. But next fight we had was, sorry, the running time's a little weird here, so we're gonna go with Dean the Great versus Dave Fogarty. Now this was an unexpected good fight. Even though I did think Dave was going to bring a little bit of a fight. Man, he looked really experienced in there, man. He was giving Dean some problems. He had Dean against the ropes with his jab. Started landing some good combinations against Dean when he was against the ropes. He was picking the right times to throw. I think the only times he kind of got lazy was near the end, and then he started getting caught by Dean. Like I said, Dean is the most skilled influencer boxer, period. He's so good, even no matter how you feel about his personality outside the ring, he is incredible. He actually is really good, even for an influencer boxer. He's as good as a pro, like legitimately. But I was impressed with Dave Fogarty. I think that they should bring him back 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. He had a good fiery personality. Maybe it was because of Dean. Maybe it would be more reserved in another fight, but who knows? I liked his attitude. I liked what he brought to the fight, and I think they should give him another chance. Let him get a win against somebody that's not the top of the division. All right, next let's talk about the HS Tiki-Taki fight. You see, I don't like fights like this, man. Obviously, we had a feeling with how George was handling the pre-fight, how this was going to go. This is never a good look. This doesn't do anything for HS's star value, I don't think, besides getting him on Misfits and getting him a win. As soon as George got hit, he literally, like it was it was pathetic, dude. It really was. Like, I don't know what. I don't think he should be paid. Like, that might be a little bit harsh, but he went in there and quit. He got up a couple times, but every time he got glanced with a shot, he went down and cowered, dude. HS was humping his face on the ground. Like, they should have got somebody better. They're kind of embarrassing themselves saying that he could beat Jake in a year. I don't know why they're doing that. Apparently there was a FaceTime call, and apparently he got arrested for assaulting somebody in the crowd. So, like I said, this card was a bit interesting in some places, but I guess there was some good fights to make up for it. But don't let George fence him back, and give HS somebody that can actually give him a challenge and actually give him a full camp so we could get an actual fight. Next up, we got Anthony Taylor versus Gabriel Silva. Now, I did say there was a chance that Holdy Anthony was going to come back, and he did for the most part, but at the same time, he was giving Gabriel some pressure he just couldn't handle at all. Excuse me. Gabriel landed some good counter, like uppercuts and left hooks. There were some good moments from Gabe. But man, Anthony Taylor's pressure, his combination punching has gotten way better. The holding kind of chilled out near the end of the fight when Anthony knew that he had Gabe against the ropes. And he dropped Gabe twice. Or, I'm sorry. There was a standing 8 count, and then he dropped Gabe. Anthony Taylor, man, he keeps getting better. And no matter what you guys think about his style, he's going to keep winning. Now, some people might say, is that championship's stuck on him because nobody's going to be able to, nobody's as a influencer's level is going to be able to take out Anthony. Who knows? Right now, he's looking like he has a very solid game plan against any influencer boxer right now, so it's going to be really tough. He has power, too, behind it. Great performance, Anthony Taylor. Gabe Silva, I'm sure he'll come back from this. I think he's very entertaining in the ring. He'll bounce back, but good win by Anthony Taylor overall. Can I formulate a sentence? All right, and now we got the main event. Totally unexpected. I'm not gonna lie. Ended up being a draw when I didn't think Danny Simpson didn't look good on the pads for me, and I underestimated him. He was game the whole time. When he got punched, he didn't back down. They were both landing decent shots, but I feel like Danny was landing more clean ones, the more powerful ones, and everything. I feel like Danny may have got a round, in my opinion. I know that we should have an odd amount of rounds for this reason. I'm not mad at a draw. Potential rematch, I guess. I think the perfect fight for Danny Aarons is iDubbbz. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I see their two styles, I see the same exact caliber fighter. And I think that would be a fair fight for either of them. I believe that they're the same size. I believe that, well, I know that they both have big names. It's just the fact of iDubbbz. I'm talking like Joe Biden right now. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I believe that'll be a good fight. It might not be on Creator Clash. Maybe iDubbbz won't be down to come back, so that might kill it. But I think that's the fight to make. I think if Danny Simpson comes back, he gives somebody else. He's probably fine with walking away. He doesn't need to do this. He never really needed to do this. But yeah, overall view of the card. Interesting. We had two fights that weren't that great. Probably the worst stoppage I've ever seen. Oh, actually 3 horrible fights, including the HS fight. So not the best. The concerts were alright. KSI's concerts, they perform good songs. It could have been better. I think if KSI headlined this card and this is what they got, they would be like, why is this a KSI card? Could we do better than this? And I think they could. I think Misfits 18 is way better, and I will do a card breakdown of that now that I'm doing it now. Now that I got my feet in the water. Hopefully we get more views. I know this is going to flop, but it's okay. Just trying to get in there. But yeah, Misfits 17, a bit disappointing, but it happens. Very interesting card. We had some good performances. We've seen some face that we wanted to see again, and some future matchups set up from this. So some positive things from that. And I believe Ben Williams and Warren Spencer are running it back. That's what Mams said. So yeah, overall, decent but not the best. I think Misfits 18 will be way better. So thank you all for listening. If you did, I'll see you guys on the next card prediction, or if there's a UFC one, or if there's a boxing one, we'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what this channel is. Peace out.